Hey there, this is Candace Duff coming at you all the way live from a sunny South Florida. I'm going to give you all a moment to join me, and then I'm going to get started. But we're here today to talk about the secrets to defeating overwhelm and writing your book. And we're going to talk about that in depth. So, to give you a moment to join me, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm an attorney, I'm an author, and I'm a book coach. And I've written like 4 novels myself. And I've coached I don't know how many people on how to write their books. And when I tell you that I know about overwhelm in terms of writing a book from a personal perspective and from a professional perspective, it's definitely the truth. When I was a busy practicing lawyer, I had a dream of writing a book. And I thought, I would never be able to find the time. I got overwhelmed with even the idea of finding the time to write a book, much less with the enormity of writing a book. And so I, put it off for many years. I went to writers conference after writers conference. I honed my skills. I kind of dabbled. I kind of flirted with the idea of writing a book. I hung out with authors, and I never got around to it because I was overwhelmed by how big the task was and how little time I thought I had to get it done. And that happened for years and years until I finally decided I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I started doing National Novel Writing Month, which is this crazy thing in November where people from all over the world sign up on a website, nanowimo.org, and they decide to go ahead and write their books within 30 days. So they decide to write a 150-page book. It's about 50,000 words from November 1st to November 30th of every year. And that's how I finally got my book done. I finally found the time to do it. I finally found a community to do it with. And I finally found a way to defeat the overwhelm that was stopping me from writing my book. And I'm going to talk to you about how you can do that too. All right, so I actually created a PowerPoint, but I'm probably not going to get to that, to go with this. So here's the deal. One of the first steps to defeating overwhelm is to actually take a bite out of that elephant one bite at a time. You know that stupid joke, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, it actually makes sense because if you actually try attacking writing a book, the whole task of it, the whole enormity of it as one big thing, you're never going to get it done. Everything that you do has to have a process. And for everything you do, you should have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, and if you don't have a process, then you will get overwhelmed. And that's one of the first things that I teach my students and teach my clients when they get ready to write a book. You don't just sit down and say, I want to write a book. You figure out which book you want to write. You figure out why you want to write a book. You figure out which other books in that genre or of the same type you've read before, how they're structured, how they're formatted, right? You figure out how to do the things that fiction writers do to make books interesting. And you make a plan so that you can do the same thing. And you make a plan to start at the beginning. Now, I always say that there are about 6 phases to book writing and publishing. And the first step is planning your book, right? The first step is figuring out which book to write, researching that book, mind mapping that book, researching that book, outlining that book, and planning your book, okay? And your audience. Who are you writing it for? Why are you writing it, okay? The second stage is actually whipping out the first draft. And I say whipping out the first draft, not just writing your first draft for a reason. Every first draft is horrible. I don't care what anybody tells you, every first draft is going to need extensive work. So no matter what you do to try to make it perfect, no matter how much you agonize over it, you're going to need to fix it. You're going to need to do extensive work on it. And so it doesn't make sense to take 5 years to write the first draft of your book. The sole purpose of the first draft is to get your thoughts out of your head and onto a page. And that's why I say you should whip out the first draft. And that's actually one of the steps to defeating overwhelm. So the first step is to plan your project. The second step is to is to get a guide to help you write that project, and to research that project, because you're not the first person to write a memoir. You're not the first person to write a business book. You're not the first person to write fiction, a romance novel, or a sci-fi fantasy novel, or anything like that, right? So there are other people who did it first and who were really successful at it. So why not break down what they did? Why not figure out how they made their book so great? What made their book so great? Why not figure out what's the first step in getting your book to that level? And then after you've done that research and after you've planned your project, then get a guide to help you, right? There are people who've already published who can help you, start from step one. You don't have to do this on your own. Okay. So the second step in defeating overwhelm after you've planned your project step by step so you know where you're going, or is to get a guide to help you do that. So to get a guide to help you plan your project, get a guide to help you outline your book, get a guide to help you write your book, right? Another step to defeating overwhelm is actually to find people who are like you who are doing the same thing. So if you want to write a book, why not find a community of writers who are doing the same thing? And it's important, to do that because writing is a very lonely, solitary endeavor. So if you can find people who are doing the same thing you are, that's going to help you with the overwhelm that you feel in terms of writing a book. And I'm not talking about, everybody has to be writing fiction or everybody has to be writing memoir or everybody has to be creating a journal, but everybody has to be trying to write a book, right? And so if you can find a group of like-minded individuals who are also working on their book projects, where you can lend each other support, where you can lend each other feedback, where maybe you can even lend each other ideas, that would definitely help you with the overwhelm in terms of writing a book. The next and the one of the last things I'm going to tell you about writing a book and getting over the overwhelm when it comes to that is writing your book fast. And it's important that you write that first draft fast. And I'll tell you why. Because the longer you have to agonize over it, the more these negative thoughts are going to enter your head. Oh, I'm never going to find the time. Oh, I'm never going to get this done. Oh, this is going to take me 5 years to do. Oh, every single page I've written isn't good enough. All these negative voices that are inside your head. And these negative voices are you internalizing all the external feedback that you've been getting over your entire life, right? All the negative comments that you've heard other people make, all the negative comments that your parents might have made, or that your friends might have made, even though they were backhanded, left-handed comments, right? About, oh yeah, yeah, you want to write a book? I've been hearing that. Oh yeah, you want to write a book? Well, I'll see you become an author one day. We'll see. You know, all these things that you've internalized over the years will stop you unless you put a stop to it quickly. And the best way to put a stop to that negative feedback and that internalization of negative feedback is to whip out the first draft of your book. Because as Nora Roberts likes to say, has said before at many conferences that I've attended, um, you can fix a bad first draft. You can't fix a blank page, right? So if the sole purpose of writing the first draft of your book is to put your thoughts out of your head and onto the page and give yourself something to work with, then that's the best way to defeat overwhelm, to whip out that first draft fast. So I want to show you something. And while I'm doing this, if you have any questions that you want to ask me, go ahead and ask me those questions. And you can put them in the comments. I'll see them if you put them in the comments. Ask me any questions you want. All right, so what I'm going to do is try to show you my screen. Let me see if I can do this properly. So let me see what comments you have and questions you have in the comments. While I figure out, okay, let me see. I haven't played with StreamYard in a long time, and they've actually changed They've actually changed some of the commands, which is making this harder for me. Let me see. How to show you my screen. Oh, here we go. All right, so now I'm going to share my screen. Now, I created a program called Write Your Book in a Weekend. And the program is designed to help you with every single thing that I just talked about. It's designed to help you figure out how to plan your book, how to defeat overwhelm by planning your book and by getting a guide. And so one of the first things that I give you in this program is a one-on-one book strategy session where you get to be with a coach and a novelist like me. Actually, it will be me. Will I help you refine your book idea? Where I help you hone in on who your target market, your target reader is, and I help you do your book research. Right? I help you and show you how you can do your research, how you can plan your book, and refine your idea. You get that one-on-one strategy session with me, and then I give you the bestseller book challenge, and it's something I give it to you as part of the program. And what you'll learn in this bestseller book program is more about how to plan your book. So you'll learn how to get clarity on the book you're writing, how to figure out who your ideal reader is, how to figure out what genre, what type of book you're writing, how to find other books, right, that are like yours so you can take a peek inside and see, what makes them great, how they're organized. And that way you're not trying to do anything from complete scratch. Where I tell you how to organize your book or outline your book and all that. So you learn all of that inside the bestseller book challenge. And it's a short program. So you'll be able to go through this in a day if you want to. And so that's one of the things that I do. I also give you, and I don't have it listed in the on the page, but my 10-day book boot camp. So once you've outlined your book, I teach you how to clear the decks, right? How to make time for your book project. More about doing book research, more about how to outline your book, and also how to tell a good story, right? It's important whether you're writing fiction or nonfiction or memoir, or even if you're writing a business book, right? It's important that you be able to tell a good story and that you know how to tell a good story. We go over that. And then I teach you how to write your book fast so that by the time you even get to the weekend that we have for the weekend workshop, you'll already have some of the tools that you need to figure out how to write your book fast. All right, so let's go back. To the workshop. Now, during the workshop, I also teach you more about how to find time to write. So even if you don't finish your book during the weekend workshop, you will find time to write your book. And here's what the workshop's all about. Write Your Book in a Weekend is a 2-day implementation workshop. And basically, we spend 8 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday working on nothing but our books, right? I guide you through timed guided writing sprints. And if you need extra help, you're able to get that from me right there in person on Zoom. Okay. And I get to take you into a private room and help you, whether it's to fix your outline, whether it's to help you get unstuck, whether it's to help you through a panic attack, whatever the case may be. But you have me there for an entire weekend, guiding you through timed guided writing sprints and other fast writing hacks, teaching you how to make time to get your book project done, and helping you focus on your book for 2 whole days. Now, people, who have come to my workshop have actually finished their book during those 2 days. Okay. And everybody who's attended so far has talked about how valuable it was. You're not there by yourself. You at least have me. And I like to put like 12 people in these workshops and cap it at 12 people so I can give you each the attention that you deserve. This month, the next workshop is going to be on April 19th. Actually, let me stop lying. April 20th and 21st. Let me just make sure because I put it in here. April 20th and 21st. It's my birthday weekend. And yep, 20th and 21st. It's my birthday weekend. And we start at 9 a.m. We end at 5. And you can keep writing or, after that or what have you on your own, but we'll be together between 9 and 5. And it'll take place online in Zoom. I used to do this in person, but during the pandemic, we moved to the online structure because it was easier. And this way you can write your book in the safety of your home. Now, some of my clients really had to get away from people who bug them all the time, right? Had to get away from their phones, had to get away from their family members, and they actually booked hotel rooms, inexpensive hotel rooms, right? For the weekend so that they can focus on getting their book done quickly and efficiently and fantastically. And this program works for you. I've had people in there who are writing journals. I've had people who are writing inspirational books. I've had people do write your book in the weekend who were writing fiction and who were writing memoir. So no matter what you're writing, whether it's a business book, it's a good program for you to take that time and focus on your book. And you have a community there. You have people there who are like-minded individuals who are there to write their own books, right? Who are there working on it, and you can chat during the breaks. When I say we do time-guided writing sprints, we do 15 minutes on and 5 minutes off, and we do that like all day, and then we have some breaks in between in order to get the book done. And before you even get there, you'll know how to dictate your book, which is one of the fastest ways to write a book. And dictation is a heck of a lot easier once you put together your outline. So the help you get from me, whether it's during our clarity session or in the bestseller book challenge or in the 10-day book bootcamp, learning how to write fast, learning how to dictate your books, learning how to organize your books really helps you, especially during that weekend, to get a lot of your book done, if not all of it. All right. So let's go back here. And let me see if there are any questions that have come in about Overwhelm, about the program, or about anything else. Do you have any questions that you want to ask me? Okay, well, since I'm not getting any questions, I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions that you may have. Because I've had some questions come in, and I actually put them in the FAQ on the website. So the Write Your Book in a Weekend program comes with your one-on-one book strategy session with me. That's a 50-minute session that we have over Zoom where we do nothing but work on your book project. We talk about your book project. We organize your book project. I help you with your book research and things of that nature. It also comes with the bestseller book challenge where you can think about marketing and targeting your book. It comes with the anatomy of a best-selling book funnel, which is where I teach you how you can situate your book in order for it to sell and to sell any other products that you want to sell off the back of your book. And I give you, during the program, a seminar called Time to Write, where I break down how you can find time in your crazy schedule to get your book done. During that weekend, we do time-guided writing sprints and other fast writing techniques that help you get your book done quickly and efficiently. And the workshop's going to take place on April 20th and 21st. It's over a weekend, the Saturday and the Sunday. It's going to take place over Zoom. And it's good for all different types of people who want to write books, whether you're doing memoir, whether you're doing self-help, or whether you're doing business or what have you. All right, I'm looking in the comments. And I'm asking if you have any questions that you want to ask me. So go ahead and put it in the comments. All right. If there are no comments, then I'm going to go ahead and go. Hopefully, you'll get a chance to review this later, and hopefully, you'll find it informative and helpful. If you do have any questions that you want me to answer, even after the live is done, go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and I'll come back and either type out the answers or do another video giving you the answers. All right. If you join Write Your Book in a Weekend by midnight tonight, then you'll get it for only $3.97. If you join Write Your Book in the Weekend after midnight tonight, like tomorrow or any other day, it'll be open until I get 12 people in the program. I cap it because I want to give each one of you individual attention at 12 people max. Okay. I'm usually there with a helper. So that's how I do it. And if you do it, any other time, it's going to be its usual price, which is $4.97. So go ahead and sign up tonight if you want to get that $100 discount. All right. Take care.